evening.
Good evening. Is my voice audible, guys? So I think we can start the sessions. Hope there is no net issue today. Actually, because of live streaming last session, there was a lag actually. Just confirm me, whatever I'm typing on the screen, is it visible? Okay. So in today's session, I'll be talking about these topics. I'll try to cover as many topics as possible. Data types, wrapper classes, strings basics, loops, and if possible, introduction to arrays, right? So whatever I was typing, was it visible on the screen, guys? No? Okay. Let me, if you want, I'll increase the font size a bit. Okay. So data types. Classes. I think my ID is only visible, right? String basics, loops, then arrays, introduction, right? We'll try to cover these many topics. We'll try to solve few problems based on them. Okay. So this is our today's agenda. So let's stick on to these topics. In between, if you have any other topics doubts, please stick to the topics what I'm teaching. When I come to those topics, you can ask the doubts related to whatever the topics that you want to get the clarity on. Because this is the basically this training is meant for those people who don't have this Java subject in their academics, right? So they have to know everything from the scratch. So that's the reason we are going to cover everything from the basics. Okay. So you might be learning already in your academics, but you can get clarified whatever the doubts you have in your academic uh, topics that you are already learning, right? So let's first talk about one minute. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for the delay. Got some call. Fine. So you can see the class name is data types. Let us create the main function. So what is the shortcut for creating the main function, guys? PSVM. Okay. Let me attach this chat box here so that it is visible to every one of you. So that while I interact and I ask the questions, I can see your answers also. So PSVM, right? So when I type PSVM, we'll get the message as public static void main inbuilt. So I'll just list down all the data types that we are going to learn in Java, right? So first thing that most of us will be using is integer a equal to 100, for example. Then what else we have? Float we have, right? Float equal to 5.67 or 5.6789. Okay, so when I type this, please observe, you're getting some error on this on the screen, right? So can anyone of you
Integer
tell me what could be the possible error?
into F.
Yeah, it is not yet converted. Yes. Any other answer? Sir, you did not assign variable and F at the end of the number. Yes. So some of you already have the knowledge about it. So good that I just want to check the knowledge in this way so that those who are having the knowledge, they can interact and confirm. Those who don't know, they can learn, right? So unlike C, in C, this will work, right? In C, we don't need not to mention anything apart from the value itself, that is the decimal value 5.6789. So it will still work in C. But in Java, we have to externally mention it's a float data type. So if you don't mention that, automatically, what does it happen? It becomes a double data type, okay? So if I remove this and if you highlight your cursor on top of that, see, please read the error. Required type isn't provided double. So what does it mean? By default, if you mention any decimal value for a floating point variable, the compiler treats it as a double data type. Okay. So if you want to manually convert it into float, you have to either give capital F or small f, right? Both will work. Right? So this is one thing I want everyone to remember. So compile time, if you are initializing any variable, so you have to make, right? You have to make that as a, or you can convert using type conversion. Okay. So this is one thing I wanted you to understand. Then what else we have? Character C equal to, it is similar to your C programming where you mention the character variable and in the single quotes you will mention the data type name. So apart from this, Java has string data type. Okay, string D equal to, or we will mention it as str, string str equal to grit. Okay, so this was not there in C language, right? So Java has inbuilt primitive data type as string, capital S. You must use capital S and the variable name. In double quotes, you have to mention the variable name. Right. What else we have apart from this? Boolean. So I think we discussed about this in the last session. So Boolean D equal to, or you can make the variable name as Boolean bool. Okay, we'll make it as B only. Boolean D equal to, what should be the possible value? True or false, right? So what is the error here? Required type Boolean provided string. So you can't put double quotes to Boolean value, right? You have to put just a value name that is either true or false. Suppose if you want to assign it to false, you can assign it to false. Okay. Then these are the few data types which we have. Apart from this, sir, for character C, yeah, you can use that. So you can try what happens? So required type is character, provided is string. Understood? So you can convert that into a single quotes. So obviously, when you're talking about character, it has to be inside a single quotes only. Or else you need to do typecasting and convert that manually to characters. That I will tell you in the coming sessions, right? That means you have declared something already as a character. If you want to convert that into string, there are a lot of ways to do it. So let's go one by one. So right now, if you are assigning it locally, it has to be inside a single quote. You can't put it inside the double quotes. Okay. That basically this you can't use directly, but indirectly there are many ways to do it. Now, so what else we have in long we have, right? Long L equal to, right? The long data type. So still here also we're getting some error. What is that? Integer number too large. So what do you mean by that integer number too large? So integer has certain no, capacity, right? So default value is compiler uses default data type as int if you're mentioning any integer values. So if you want to extend that integer size, again you have to put explicitly capital L, right? So capital L you have to put. So here what happens? Long L equal to, so whatever the number I've typed on the screen, after that you have to give L. So it becomes long data. It becomes long data. Got it? So these are the few basics that you need to know when declaring the variables. Then generally, sometimes we want to know, right, size of the data type. In C, we had size of variable, right? In C, we had size of variable. Size of, that is a function, inbuilt function we had. So how to do that in Java is the next question. So let us declare how to find the size of data type in Java. That is the next question, correct? So let us take some variable name as int size equal to, suppose if I want to find out what is the size of long data type, right? Or integer data type. So we have a wrapper class concept. I'll tell you in some time, right? So integer dot, right? So you can see there are a lot of variables are there. Integer dot size and bytes. Okay. So by default, it is giving you can see that by default it is 32 integer dot bytes. Let us see the bytes. Okay. So what I am using here, this is called as wrapper class. Okay. So the concept of wrapper class, you have to understand carefully. So I'll tell you in some time about it. So wrapper classes concepts is very important because when we are talking about object-oriented programming, sometimes we need to convert int to integer as a object, right? And integer back to int as a primitive data type. So these are necessary when we are doing object-oriented programming. So as of now, just understand if you want to find out size of integer data type, you can just mention integer dot bytes. Then let us try to print that this out, right? Size of int in bytes. Okay. What is that format I told you? How will you mention the variable name? You have to give plus, then space the variable name, that is size. So let us run this. Okay. So you can see, as you can see on the screen, we are getting the size of the data type as 4 bytes. Okay. 4 bytes. And then if I want to find out the size, you can just give integer dot size. Okay. Run it. So what is the size we are getting? 32. Right? What do you mean by bytes and size? So one is giving you in terms of bytes, another is giving in terms of the actual total number of bits, right? 18 to 4. So that is what you are getting size in terms of actual bit size. So similarly, if you want to check for long integer, just you can give long dot L capital. Long is a wrapper class for a long integer, right? So what is the size of the long? So we have 64 bytes, right? 64 bits. So that means your length of the input can be up to 64 bits. These are the some of the basic things you need to understand when we are working with the uh, data types. So most importantly, how to create a float, how to create long, right? So long means you have to manually mention L, otherwise you will get a size exceeded message. If you don't mention that, it will be by default treated as an integer variable. Understood? Any doubts up to here? Okay, so moving on. So let us learn about further a lot of things like right now we were asking for double. Yeah, so double, how do you declare? Anyone knows? I was not talking about double, right? So for double, you need not to mention explicitly D. Automatically, it will be treated by, it will be treated as a double only by the compiler. So you need not to explicitly mention double as the data type. Any other doubts here? So if you want to print double, just declare double. We are already using F, right? It will be treated as a double data type. Okay. So most of the time you will be using within this range, right? There are some tricky questions which I'll be telling you I'll be adding those questions in Moodle. So you have to carefully give attention to the constraints. Okay. So recently, I think you might be solving the problems once you are going for 2-2. Constraints you have to give very important, observation. That's why in the message also I sent. So one thing I want to come from other participants, are you getting the updates from your CRs? Whatever I'm posting? Hmm? So please let me know if any of the CRs are not updating whatever I'm sending them. You're not knowing what is the message Arun sir is sending. So please update me personally. I'll take a very strict action against them because this is a very important stage for all of you. If you're not getting any updates from your CRs, I told them to either announce in the class or in an unofficial group because I'll be sending a lot of messages. So it's better to post them in the unofficial messages instead of official WhatsApp group, right? So before going to the topics, I'll just mention few points which you need to be careful. So I just got a clarity on what exactly the students need to prepare. I just interacted with the people in Smart Interview. So you need not to worry about advanced DSA topics, okay? No need to worry about, as of now, no need to worry about advanced DSA, right? That means data structure and algorithm. To get into product batch, it's a very simple process, right? To get into product batch, refer the following topics. I'm just writing down because before I forget, I just wanted to clarify this for you guys, right? Refer following topics in and out. That is first one. You ought to be very strong in terms of input and output. Input and output. That means, what do you mean by input and output? Basically, there will be different ways of asking the input. For example, they'll mention that you need to enter as many numbers as possible without mentioning the size, or they will say that read it as a string, convert into int, or read it as an int, convert to string, right? So you need to carefully understand what is the input they are asking for, right? So you should understand different ways of reading the input. Then once you have this thorough knowledge, concentrate on data types again, as I told you, very important. Then strings, most important. Strings and its functions in Java, right? Very important. So I will also be covering a lot of topics based on strings. Then obviously operators, loops, and all those things. Operators, loops, right? Then most importantly, array operations, arrays in that one dimensional and two dimensional. Very important. You will have at least one question on or two questions on one dimensional, at least one question on two dimensional arrays, right? Within the arrays, you have a lot of sub problems. So they are called as subset, subsequence, subsequence, and subarray problems. This is most important among all. Okay, so I'll just highlight this. Okay, very important. So for next 1.5 months until your product batch exam is conducted, right? You concentrate more on array problems. So we call them subset, subsequence, and subarray problems. So I'll also be adding few questions based on these topics in Moodle. So you'll get some kind of experience over how to work on this kind of problems. Okay. So 90% even company exams also they are asking only based on this array, subset, subsequence, and subarray problems, right? So what do you mean by this subsequence problems? I'll just give you a hint. For example, in previously last month there was an exam by Sadi Point Technologies, right? So the question was like this: find longest increasing continuous prime numbers sum. This was the question. So this is a subsequence problem. Okay. Longest increasing continuous prime number sum. For example, right? Suppose if your input is like this. So 2, 4, 3, 6, again 2, 3, 5, then again 8, then I'll give 12, I'll give 11. So now the question is you have to find out the longest increasing continuous prime number sum. So you know obviously what are the prime numbers. So they are asking in the array, you have to find out the longest increasing continuous prime number sum. So can anyone guess what could be the possible sum here for this particular question? 10. Okay. 10 is the answer. Yes. Any other answers you are getting? So if you observe here carefully, so 235 is the longest increasing continuous prime number sum, correct? So some people got confused that they didn't observe continuous keyword. They only worried about longest prime number and a biggest prime number. So understanding the question becomes very important when you attend the company exams. Okay. So if you don't have clarity in questions, so obviously you waste a lot of time in analyzing the question itself, and you couldn't so product batch exam will be in once your 2 semester starts, second year, second sem, you will be having at least 20 days time. They will give some assessment questions. You need to complete assessment questions, and you should have at least minimum 1,000 points in all the platforms that we are having, like HackerRank, CodeChef, right? Minimum 1,000 points you should be having in your account, right? So they will fetch your marks from all these different platforms. Then only if you are having minimum 1,000 points, you will be eligible for writing the exam. And they will be having around 50 to 60 questions as a preliminary task to make you just brush up with the basics of Java. That also you need to complete. And along with that, other platforms you should be having at least 1,000 points in your HackerRank profile or CodeChef profile, any profile. Then they will conduct this exam, right? So your job is very simple and it is very easy actually. So you just need to concentrate on these kind of problems. Okay. Even in the company exams also, they will ask only based on these kind of questions. So that means nobody will ask you questions based on trees, graphs, and advanced DSA. Advanced DSA will come into picture when you go for about 30 lakhs package, right? So if you just want to be able to eligible for job and get the confidence about clearing any company, so your first step should be getting confidence about I can clear any company exam instead of worrying about package. So don't worry about the packages, but first make sure that you can grow in terms of basic knowledge, go step by step. Suppose if it is a 10 lakh package, no problem. So it is not a small amount, right? So if you are able to clear the 10 lakh package, you should be happy about it. Then you should be aiming for higher packages. So, but people are not good enough for 10 lakh, but they are worrying about the higher, more than 10. So that is not correct. So it all goes on day by day work, right? So you can't take that kind of mentality. Yeah, you can solve in any platform, but I don't suggest Python, because Python sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, because of the internal operations, and it won't be easy to identify the errors in Python. So it's better, I'll suggest either Java or C only for competitive problem solving, either C++ also. Most of the people use Java, and few who are good in C++, they will use C++. But since our college, most of the companies comes and ask for Java, so we are giving training on Java only. So, and whatever the language you choose, please stick on to that. Don't change, keep on changing your language. Work on that language in and out, right? So now for past 2 3 months I'm just in Java only, so I'm not touching any language, right? I might have taught Python for you guys, but that is only basics that I've taught. Now I'm totally into Java, right? In between I can't keep on changing here and there. Basics anybody can learn, but if you want to be perfect, you have to at least spend 1 year on that language to get insight about everything in that particular language. Got it? Then there was one more question based on find the sum between largest and second largest elements in the given array, right? This was also based on arrays. Now these both the questions were based on array, and the time was only 45 minutes. Package was around 7 lakhs, only 7 lakhs. Okay, for 7 lakhs these two questions were there. So I am trying to put all these kind of different questions uh, based on what they are asking in previous company exams. I'm trying to make you guys learn. So even when you come for service batch, whatever batch you might be in, so your job is to just keep learning, keep exploring, right? Keep improving. That's all. So you need not panic at any moment and think that okay, it's I there is not enough time. For, there was not much time for to prepare. So it's not nothing like that. You can still start and you can still grow. Only thing is you have to be very much dedicated in terms of your hard work. How many questions you are solving every day, right? Are you able to follow up the logic, understand the logics? Because most of these questions are available everywhere in all the platforms. Only thing is during interview, during exams, you can't cheat, you can't copy. It's impossible. So you can prepare somewhere, ask your friends, do whatever you want to do. I don't know, but at least you should be knowing the logic yourself. And if it in that moment, if they ask you to complete the question, you should be in a position to complete it. Because you can't cheat like how you are doing in Moodle, right? Still in Moodle people are writing. So for the second question, reverse of digit, some people are still in the first year mindset only. So there was a test case, right? So if the input is, if input is 90, output should be, what? 0 9. So since they are not, since they are getting only 9, so they are rating separate test case for that. So if input is 90, output is 0 9. So if you are still making the code like this, definitely you won't be able to clear the exams. So you have to stick to the program logic, and it has to be universal logic. Just to escape the Moodle test case, or just to match the Moodle test case, if you're writing the code like that, definitely you are learning in a wrong direction, right? So please make sure your logic is universal irrespective of what is the input I'm giving. Suppose what if I give 18 90, right? 0 1 0 2 0 3, in that way if I give the input, what will you do? You can't keep on writing if else statement, right? So you have to understand, you can't learn the programming like that just to match the test case. Because in Moodle everything I am doing, from the question, from the program, from the coding, right? So I don't have enough time to make 100 test case for each question. So I'll be making 6 7 8 max, right? But you can't take the advantage out of it. If you go for other platforms, you will have so many hidden test cases, you will have so many, you can't even see the test cases first of all. So please don't cheat yourself by doing this, because it won't affect me, it will affect you guys only. So sometimes I'll get very sometimes I feel very funny about it when the students still code like that just to match the test case. So don't do that. Okay. So this is the instruction I wanted to give. Then after this, what else you need to prepare? Pattern problems. This is most important. So what are the pattern problems? Can anyone just text and let me know? What are the pattern problems? Yeah. So right angle triangle, pyramid. See, even out of nine to 10 companies, at least 4 or 5 companies will ask you pattern problems, either in interview or in the technical round. So please try to solve at least 50 pattern problems. So set your goals today itself. For next 1.5 months, I will solve 50 pattern problems. How you solve, what you solve doesn't matter. Whether you are able to understand the logic, implement something based on this pattern, it's very important, because pattern problems, if you solve, your analytical thinking will go one step high. So please understand, pattern problems are very important. Even first year we added few questions, right? So those are 1 or 2 questions only, but you have to pick up from there and try to improve and make your learning path better, right? So you have idea already, but how many of you solved at least 50 problems in pattern problems? I don't know. So pattern problems, definitely they will ask in the product batch exam. So this much if you prepare, more than enough. Just to add stacks and queues. Sometimes they'll add few questions based on stack and queue. Okay. So that's all. You need not worry about anything, right? So all these techniques you can solve using sliding window concept, sliding window technique. Please note down all these points. Sliding window technique. Okay. So this array subset, subsequent subarray problems. This is a sliding window technique. Sir, if we prepare from now, can yes, definitely, ma. That's why we are conducting these sessions. So our job is what, as a trainer, is to give you insights about basics of language. First of all, people should know what are the features of the language, because when you go to product batch, no one will teach you what is string, what is data type, how to create an object, how to create class. They won't teach. They will only make you solve different algorithms, different problems. So they will only give the algorithms. So you will be trained with good algorithms, good questions, techniques they will give, hints they will give. But even if you go to product batch, if you don't know how to create float variable, if you don't know how to find the, what is the difference between double and float, if you're not able to understand these basics, you can't solve any problems. So that's why this Java sessions is for getting you start with the Java programming. So we'll cover all the things that you need to know in Java before going for problem solving. Then in Moodle, I'll be adding a lot of questions based on these topics, so that you can prepare. And definitely, it is definitely possible if you follow whatever I'm giving you the today's instruction. Because until now, even I didn't have much clarity what students have to go through. So I just got the clarity on these topics so that I can guide properly to the students, so that most of you are eligible for the product batch, right? So subset, subsequence, subarray problems, very important. Try to solve at least 40-50 problems based on that. Yeah. How many programs we should say that I can't tell you. It's better if you solve at least two problems based on arrays every day. One problem based on pattern, one problem based on array. Like that, you can divide one problem based on strings. So it's definitely easy. So if you go to any platforms, you will get already a lot of people have solved these problems, and there are a lot of optimized solutions are also there, right? So based on that hint, you can definitely understand the logics and try to prepare in that way. Yeah, you have gigs for geeks, right? Gigs for geeks is having a lot of these questions based on subarray subsequence you can explore. MCQ questions are not there in product batch. We are directly having the coding assessment. MCQ questions you will be having during the interview. During the interview, okay. That means company exams. First round will be MCQ. Then based on the MCQ, will be filtered. So again, for MCQ training, when you come for service batch, I will be giving a lot of questions. Already, if you ask your seniors, I made them solve around 300 MCQ questions, which they don't have clarity actually. Outcome, what is output of the, even in Python, we used to do that, right? So the same way in Java, we will make you do that. But right now, for getting into product batch, you need not worry about MCQs, only coding problems. And that too only based on whatever points I mentioned on the screen, right? So don't worry about trees, graph, linked list and all. Stacks, queues you should know, arrays you should know, one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array based problems, right? Are there only code writing questions? No, no, no. I just told you only coding questions, no MCQ questions. I don't know. Depends on your work. Exam timings will be around 3 hours. Maybe you'll be having 4 to 5 problems. So anyway, right now, don't worry about that. People are much worried about product batch. Let me continue with my subject. But anyway, clear instructions you will be getting. What are the problems that you need to solve? What is the duration? Everything you will get clarity once you complete your theory exams. So you have enough time. So what my suggestion is, don't just prepare academic subjects. Give 2 hours time on this problem solving every day, right? Make time for yourself, because this 2 months will set your goals, right? Where you want to be, whether you want to go for high package or low package. These 2 months will be going to be very crucial for you. Got it? So in Geeks for Geeks, we'll have a lot of these questions based on subset subsequence. Try to learn them, right? Ask your seniors. They will be, in better, will give guidance apart from this. And as I told you, a lot of YouTube channels are there. So go through them. Even I refer sometimes. Whatever the channels I am referring, I'm just already shared with you guys already. So go through them. You will get much more clarity. So right now, you need not worry about, apart from these topics, you need not worry about anything. Just follow these instructions. Okay. Yeah. So, so we were talking about data types, right? Exam timings, yeah, 3 hours it will be. It's 3 hours and you'll be having 4 to 5 problems minimum. So let's continue our data types. Character we have created, right? So a lot of data types we have created. Let us continue. Suppose there is another string, right? String str2. If I try to do some operation, right? So how will you do the sum operation? You will use arithmetic operator, right? So let us see str plus str2. And if you try to print that, tell me what will be the possible output. Will we get error or will once again share YouTube channel, sir? Okay, wait a minute. I forgot to tell you. So if you want to see the YouTube channel, what is the instruction I gave you? Where is the YouTube channel available, guys? So YouTube channel you can find in Moodle. Okay. I have provided the link in Moodle. Log into your Moodle. First link only you will find the YouTube channel. Okay. So this is basics of string. If you try to add two strings, obviously it is a nothing but a string concatenation. So people gave correct answer. Will there be a space or not? Some people are telling space. So let's see, will there be space or not? So obviously there is no space, right? No space, correct. So now suppose, let me change this value string str2 equal to 100. What will be the output? Great, 100. Okay. So let me take another variable, string str3 equal to 300. Okay, str2 plus str3. What will be the output again? 100 and 300, correct? Now I'll give a task for you guys. Now I already have a data types with me, that is 100 and 300, right? But I don't have integer values. Now I want to do actually arithmetic operation. That means I don't want to create a integer variables. Already I have a string variables. I want to do the arithmetic operation. So what is the way that you can do? Typecasting. Okay. Int of str2 plus int of str3. Okay, let me try that. Okay. So Hari Lakshmi, as per your suggestion, is it working? No. So unlike C, in C you can do this thing, but in Java you don't have option to do like this. So you should know all these ways, right? So ask these kind of questions to yourself, right? So how can I convert one data type to another, right? How can I convert int to char to int, right? So this
Sir,
is a very important job, right? So you
try
have to use.
changing string sum to int sum. Maybe then it will work.
What happened?
Uh,
What
Change
happened?
string sum into int sum. We have declared the sum as a string variable instead of int variable.
Okay, okay. Working. Yeah. So my bad. Yeah. So I have changed the string sum to int sum. Still, is it working? All right. So already few people are giving me the answer. Very good. So I'm just checking your knowledge, those who are having the knowledge. So this is a good way, right? So I can see how many people are going in right direction. So already few are correct answers I got. So we have a function called as integer dot parseInt. Okay. Integer dot. So just like as I told you in the last class, you should know the wrapper class for the corresponding data type. So there is a difference between integer and int. Okay. So integer means it is called as a wrapper class for integer. Int means a primitive data type. So when you want to use conversion part, you have to use the wrapper class that is integer. So as soon as you type dot, you will get a lot of suggestion, right? So parseInt option is already there for you. So use parseInt, and what you need to do, you have to convert that string to. So already see string variables, whatever you declared, you are getting the options already. So str2 is there, then plus integer dot parseInt str3 you select. Okay. So now we converted, what did we convert? We converted our strings to integers. So when we display the output, so what is the answer we are getting on the screen? 400, correct? So this is called as type conversion. Okay. So we are trying to convert string to integer. So that is called as parseInt. Yeah. So there are a lot of methods are there. So this is the way which I am teaching you. If you have any alternative way, you can try to learn it, because like somebody sent value of. So value of is also available. So but from Java 5.6 version onwards, I think I don't know exactly. They're not using value of. So they're using integer dot parseInt only. So this is a better way. Okay. So a lot of alternatives will be there. So try to stick to one way of learning. If you learn so many ways, you will get confused. So a lot of things are there. Yeah, one by one we'll teach. So don't hurry up, right? A lot of people are asking different questions. Sir, can we do it in bracket itself? One bracket. What do you want to do? One bracket means what? ParseInt for only. Yes, integer is a wrapper class. Yes. Guys, let's do one thing. Let me first complete what I want to explain, and then I'll take up your questions. Otherwise, we can't cover much topics. So this kind of doubts, what you're getting, that is a good way actually, like converting using one line. Yeah, like this, you can do. Yes. int sum equal to integer dot parseInt, but you have to try them, right? ParseInt str2 plus str3. Let's try this. Is it working, guys? Sum is already there, so let us change this. So what is the output I'm getting? Is it working? So again, here, this is not treated as a single value, right? So these are all trial and error that you need to find out. So obviously, 100 and 300 only you are getting, so you're not able to convert it. Is it possible to convert 10 into numerical 10? Why you want to do that, I don't know. But if you want to do that, I think you have to write a like logic for that, not like inbuilt using inbuilt function. I don't personally know any inbuilt function as such. So if you want to do that, write a general logic using, you can take an array, mention all the values like 0, 1, 2, 3 as a string values. Then based on the index position, you can convert. If the index is 10, then you can represent it as a numerical 10. So I don't know inbuilt function to do that. If you know that, please share that. Okay. So obviously you can't do this. Sri Vaishnav, I hope your doubt is clarified. So if you're getting these kind of thoughts, the only way to do is it, only way to learn is it, put it that in the code, use the IDE, try to learn whether it is allowed or not. Got it? So generally, a lot of varieties will be there. So generally, when I get this kind of doubts, but only when I try, when I don't get the output, then I'll stick to one method of explanation. Otherwise, I can't ask everyone to do this and then get error, then they get confused. So as a student, we will be getting this kind of thoughts. That's a very good learning. But please try them instead of thinking and worrying what will happen if I do like that. So coding is should be trial and error. You have to play, like how the newly born kid or a child will play with the whatever the object you give it to it. Suppose if you give a ball to him, he don't know what to do with that. He don't know the bowling, he don't know what to do with that. He will either eat it or he will spoil it, right? Because he don't know how to use it. So that's how we have to learn the coding. When we get this kind of thoughts, uh, trial that trial it whether it works or not. Try it. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, you get to know the syntax. Correct? Then there is a one more way to do that. Some people ask me this doubt. What about the character? Now we spoke about the string, right? We have already have a character, right? So I'll write some code on the screen. Let me see how many of you have that knowledge. For example, int sum equal to a lot of variable I've used already. Let me delete them. Int sum equal to 10. Okay. Now I'll write sum equal to sum plus. What I want to do is, we already have a character variable here, correct? That is character c equal to g. Character dot. So see, I'm using character object, character wrapper class, character dot. So everything is with the dot operator. So please use the dot operator as and when required. It's a crucial part in the Java programming, right? So as soon as I type dot, you are getting the suggestion on the screen, that is get numerical value. Okay. So you have to pass some character to it. Already I have some character existing in my, what is the character name? Character variable C. Okay. Then let me print this sum. Okay. So now you have seen this code. Try to predict the output, guys. 17. Okay. 109, 82. So a lot of answers we are getting. Comment line this. So what is the output we are getting? So 26. So most of you are giving the answer as 81, 82, 109. Okay. So now you saw the answer. What is happening? Can anyone tell me? Why it is giving 26? So you are right, ASCII value, yes. So we are taking the ASCII value of G, capital G. So can anyone just find out in Google what is the ASCII value of capital G? ASCII value of capital G, what is that? 71, is it? I'm talking about capital G. Okay. Now if it is 71 and sum is 10, why the output is 26? So try to think about this. What is happening internally? So why the output is 26? Am I printing sum anywhere before? No, right? Yeah. So let me change this value 0. Try to see what is happening. Size of char data type. Now what we are getting? We're getting the output as 16. Sum equal to sum plus character dot get numeric value C. 10 ASCII value 16. Now I updated it to C 0 power. Observe now. Sum equal to sum plus character dot get numeric value 16 C. So what is the representation? So you have to understand how this functions works. So once you have clarity, then only you can apply on your logics, right? So you can highlight your cursor on the top of that. We'll get the internal representation, what it is. Returns the int value that is specified by the Unicode character. Post your chat box here. Yeah. Right. So returns the int value that the specified Unicode character represent. For example, the character /u21c will return an int with a value of z, a value of 50. The letters A to Z in their uppercase, lowercase, and full width variant forms have numerical values from 10 through 35. Understood? So it is totally different from what we used in C. In C, we use ASCII value, but here what we are using? Unicode characters. So that's why you should understand what format that particular language is using, right? So if it was C, you would have got 71, whatever the answer you were giving, right? Because you are talking about ASCII values. Here we are talking about Unicode values. So in Unicode characters, the letter A to Z have the values from 10 to 35. So this is independent of the Unicode specification, which does not assign numeric values to these char values, right? So you have to understand why we are getting the answer as 16. Got it? Now, since G is a capital G, starting from 10, so you can see what are the Unicode character values for the alphabets. You can type in Google, you'll get to know the values. So in this way, you should have a clarity on what you are trying to do. So basically, we are trying to get the ASCII value, but it is not actually ASCII value, it is a Unicode value. So this will return what? Returns the Unicode value. Okay. So there is another way of doing it. So let me comment line this. Okay. Sum equal to sum plus integer dot. Somebody suggested this value of function previously. Right. So integer dot parse int. Then inside you can use string dot. Right. So it has a lot of inbuilt functions again, value of, then you have to pass the whatever the character that you want to use, that is C. Okay. So let me execute this line. Okay, what is happening?
Sir, off.
Off is wrong. Huh? Number format exception for input string G. Huh? Okay, fine. So let me do one more way. Character ch equal to 1. So I'll pass ch here. So shortcut for running in the IntelliJ is Shift F10. Okay, you can press Shift F10. And now you understood what was the problem, guys. So now I have declared one more variable as a character variable, right? So basically G is not a integer, right? So it is a character. So what is the value of function is doing? Just put your cursor now over on that. Returns a string representation of the character argument, right? Right. Then you are just taking first you are converting that value into the string. Then that value you are trying to convert into integer or parse it. Parses the string argument as a signed decimal integer. So basically, what was the problem here is this C is assigned to G, which is a character, actual character. But here we are having a number which is represented as a character. Now this number we are trying to convert it into string. Then that string number we are trying to parse it as an integer, right? So now we are getting the actual integer representation of this particular character. So if I do this in this way, what was the error you are getting? So number format exceptions. Please understand these exceptions. Number format exception. If you click on that, you'll get to know the hints. It throws and indicates the application has attempt to convert a string to one of the numeric types, but the string does not have the appropriate format, right? So it can only convert the integer format into the if you can represent that in a particular format, number format. So if you're trying to convert that G into the integer, that is not possible. But one you can convert into integer, right? So these are the tricky parts that you need to understand why you have to do like this. So sometimes we have the character values represented as the numbers, which you want to extract as a character, which you want to extract as an integer. So you can use at that point, you can use this kind of syntaxes. Okay. Then there is one more important point that all of you should know. Most of you will be using already. So let me check. Suppose string college. One more point I want to tell you guys is use camel case variables. Camel case variables. How many of you know what is camel case? This is the industry standard, right? So don't type whatever you want to type. Use a proper syntactical variable names. So today I have not followed that camel case, but in coming classes I will always use camel case syntax. What do you mean by camel case variables? First letter is small and next word letter is capital. Yeah, so very good. Naming convention. So generally, when you're using these kind of platforms or in real time, people follow this convention, naming convention. So naming convention, what you have to do is first case, first letter, small, and all next are first word. First word, first letter has to be small, remaining has to be uppercase. So how to do that? For example, if I want to create a string, for example, college name. So college is one word, name is another word, right? So in college, C has to be capital, small. I'm not getting the style of F. What F? I'm not getting the style of F used in value of. So basically, what is the value of does is, right? It returns the string representation of the character argument. You are converting a character into a string. Once you convert that character into a string, then you are trying to extract the integer value out of it, right? So it works for 1, but it doesn't work for G because when you extract 1 from the string, you are actually extracting a integer value. But G is not a string integer representation, right? G has a again ASCII value, a Unicode value. So that won't work if you are converting actual character into an integer, right? That is not possible. You can convert the style of character F on keyboard. I'm not getting what you are asking, man. Did anyone understand this question? Please clarify me. What is that? So I'm not getting the style of we have used in value of. You're not able to see, or you're not able to. Do you want me to zoom it out something? What is that you want actually, Pratik? Right? Can you type value of using only keyboard? Using keyboard, huh? Okay. Value of. Actually, you are not getting. Okay, okay, understood. Sum equal to plus integer dot paths dot string. It's coming, right? Why we need to convert character to string, sir? That depends on the question, ma. It's not mandatory. I'll tell you why you have to do it. A lot of questions are like this. Sometimes they will ask the data in one format and ask you to convert it into another format. So just to for making you understand this particular question, we will have one question which I'll add in Moodle in 1 or 2 days. The question will be like this. Okay. In general, they will tell read the integer value, right? Non-integer value, and find the factorial of the number. For example, this is the question which you already would have solved many times in first year, right? Now what happens is they will give the very huge constraints. Constraints will be like this. Input number length should be input number length is 10 power 3. Now what is this meaning? The maximum input number in length of the input number in your test case can go up to 10 power 3. That means generally you might be used to writing input as like 456, all right, maximum 7, something like this, right? So this is the maximum you can give as an input as an integer or long int. But what they are given the question is your input length can go up to 10 power 3. That means suppose if you keep on writing 9999 like this, how many nines you have to write? You have to write 10 power 3 nines. 10 power 3 nines. So now tell me to clarify this doubt. Can I enter any number up to 1000 length? Which integer or which data type supports that? Can we enter the data, input data like this? 10 power 3, 1000 integer values, one by one. Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'll keep on entering like this until I reach 1000. Can we store this number in any data type? Is that my question? Satvik is telling double data type. Satvik, you should go and check what is the size of the double data type. Double data type can store only up to 64 bits. You can store up to 60 until you reach 64 bits, correct? I'll keep on typing like this. You can store this number into double data until you reach 64 bits. But what about after 64 bit? Because they given the input length can go up to 10 power 3. Even long won't support Shira. Some people are giving string, right? So that is the hint that you need to observe, because the constraint says that input number length can go up to 10 power 3. So obviously if you declare a variable name as int num or long int num, right, long number, and try to read the data, right? So then you are reading the data into that, right? What happens is you will get memory issue or time complexity issue, right? Time complexity exceeded issue. Now these are the points. What you need to do is, somebody already suggested, you have to read the data as string. So that means whatever the numbers you are entering, these numbers will be read in the string format, right? In the string format. Then you will access one after the other. Suppose first you will access 1, then you will access 2, then you will access 3, then you will access 4. Then each number you will convert into integer. Each character, not number, because you are entering as a sequence of characters, right? So this is the hint that you need to understand. So sometimes the question seems to be old and already learned, but the constraints makes the question tricky. Understood? So in those kind of questions, we need to convert one data type to another data type, right? It's important. Without converting that, you can't match the constraints. Hope your doubt is clarified. Many of you might be having these kind of doubts. So that's why I'm just clarifying that. Okay. So coming back to our topic. So please understand that Priya, even if you store in arrays, it is not possible. You have to read the data as a string, because string doesn't have any fixed length. Okay, string doesn't have any fixed size, right? You can keep on inserting as many numbers as you want to. Then each number which you entered as a character will convert them back to integer. So if you use array also won't work. Java has one more class called as big integer. Those who are interested can explore big integer. Even big integer cannot solve this problem, because big integer also don't have a fixed limit. If you read the data as a big integer, still it won't be able to satisfy 10 power 3 condition. So there is the only way is that, though in the question they mentioned read integer value, you have to understand that if I read integer value, I cannot match the constraint. So the only option is to read the data as a string. Understood? So that is the trick and hint that you need to observe. So please, that's why I mentioned, please give importance to the constraint, because next 2 months you'll be solving a lot of problems. People get stuck in this basic reading only. So reading, if you are able to cross, then just you will be concentrating on the logic. That's why I told you input output. To understand the input output, first you need to see what is the given constraint. Can I solve it using long int? Can I solve it using string? Can I solve it using double? So that clarity you should have. Understood? Now what I was talking, use camel case, string, college name. Okay. So in college name, or if you see roll number, string, roll number. So R is small case and N is uppercase. So each word has to be followed in this particular naming convention. R is small case and N is capital case, because they are two different words, right? So string roll number equal to, let me see, uh, triple two 41805, I don't know, 60. I'm assuming some roll number. I don't know whether it's valid or invalid as per your college rules. So assume that this is a roll number. Okay. Then I'll try to do some operation on that. Character result equal to. Now this is important. Just now I was talking about. Now you are reading this data as a string, or you take only integer values. Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like this. Keep on entering as many numbers as you want. Okay. So now you see the size of this number, you can't even represent in any data type, because it is that huge, right? So character result equal to, now what you have to do, you have already roll number with you, that is the variable name. So roll number, then dot. See, when you press that string variable name, that is roll number, and when you press dot, you are getting a lot of functions. So what I want to do is, I want to fetch a character at the given particular index of the given string. So let me mention as 20, or to make it easier, let me mention as 5. Then let us print that. Shift F10. So what is the output I'm getting on the screen is 6. So what we are trying to do here, can anyone tell me? we're trying to do here? Are we not converting, or are we accessing each individual character from the given string to the index? So please explore more character rate function. It's a most important function because a lot of string problems when you want to solve, you need this character rate function. Okay, so character rate will help you to fetch the individual index from the given string. So what index we are accessing is 5 means obviously string starts with 0 index. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the fifth character is, the 6 is the answer. So that's what you are trying to get on the screen. So this what we did in this case is accessed character from the string. Okay, now the next question is, now is it a character or is it a number? Now tell me, which I already taught you. Now I want to convert that directly into integer. Can anyone type it on the screen and tell me? Now convert that into actual integer value. Who can do it? Integer dot parseInt. So Vandana is telling integer dot parseInt. So let me see whether it works or not. So I'll remove this. So can you do it using the single line? Int result equal to what you did initially. So integer dot parseInt is the main output you have to give. Then within that, what you have to do? My roll number. What is my roll number? That variable you have to give. Roll number dot character that you have to use. Then you have to give 5. Close it. What is this thing here? Okay. Now in this case, see, in this case, this won't work. Roll number dot character rate is not working. So you have to understand these things. So roll number dot character rate is not going to work. So what is the problem? Required type is string provided char. Can anyone tell me what is the reason? If I separated this, previously what was the logic I typed? Character result equal to, right? What did I type? Roll number dot character rate 5. So here you didn't face this problem. Here you didn't face this problem, but why you're facing this problem here? So to learn properly, you should always check for the syntactical rules of the function. Now, because you are embedding this entire value inside parseInt, you should first understand what is the syntax of parseInt, right? So can you see the syntax of parseInt here? Public static int parseInt. What is the input parameter that parseInt accepts? String, right? So in parseInt will only accept the string data. It won't accept the character data. Now, when you are doing this, what is happening is you are trying to feed character value to the parseInt, right? So it won't work. You can't pass the character to the parseInt. So you have to give string data only. Now again, what you have to do is just highlight on this. You'll get to know what is the options that you can work with to get the correct data. So you see the hint that IDE is going to give you wrap using string dot value of. So this we already used here, right? Here. So we have to wrap it using string dot value of, right? So just click on that. So you'll get the updated content. So what is this we did here? Before accessing the character, we converted that character into string again. Then this entire data we feed it into parseInt. Understood? Now this will print me the same value, but what is the data type we converted that into? Now we converted that into integer, right? Suppose if I try to make it a char, so what is the error message I'm getting? Right? So what is the error message? Required type is char, provided is int. So basically what you are trying to store is character, but this entire function is trying to give you integer data. So now if you see the suggestions, cast expression to character. Now what we did, we casted manually. Now, even though it is giving the integer output, we again converted back into character output, right? So now you see it won't display properly because it is the converted number. So the only way to get the actual output is make the result into integer. Shift F10. Okay, now you're getting the actual number representation. Otherwise, you get invalid character there, garbage value. Understood? So these are the ways you have to understand why, what, and how to use it. Because a lot of such syntaxes you will be observing. Only when you have clarity why it is giving me error, so you'll be able to understand the logic of the given programming language, right? Now this is one thing I wanted you to tell. So if they give data like this, if they tell you read the data as a string, so these are all numbers, right? First thing is you have to fetch each character from that, convert each character, each number into a character, then convert that into actual integer. So all these functions are very useful when you do the problem solving. Next, let's try to convert. What is pending is, for example, I want to convert character to string, right? So how to convert character to string? That is the next question. So let's say string college name equal to here, right? Okay. Now you have one more character here. What is that? What is the character you have already somewhere here? C. Now what I want to do is I want to combine this character and this string. Basically, I want to add char and string, right? How it is possible? So let me try. Let us try this. String str3 equal to str3 is already there. So this is one problem when we teach a lot of variables we use. String result 4 equal to. So what you want to do is add that character. What is the character I have here? C equal to G. So let me mention C plus college name. Then let me print result 4. Shift F10. Right? So what we are getting? We are getting the output as GGRIT. So there is no issue here. But did we convert character into string here? Individual character into string? Suppose I don't want to do this addition. I want to just convert that character into string. How will you convert character into string? So when you add a character and string, there is no problem. So you'll get the output. Now I just want to do the conversion. I want to represent that character as a string. Is it possible? Suppose I'll directly try to assign that C here. What is the error we are getting? Required type is string, provided is char. Again, one way is string dot value of. This is one way. Another way is you can just use that variable. You can do plus and do two double quotes. Now what does it do? This is also same thing you are doing, converting that string into, then converting that character into string. Got it? So let me see the output. So you are getting the output as G only, but is it a string data or is it a character data? Now we converted that C into character, that character into string, right? So if you don't want to remember the string dot value of, so easy option is just add for that character plus double quotes. So whenever you add a double quotes to the existing character, it automatically converted into a string data, right? So do you have any doubt up to now? So I wanted all of you to learn from basics like this. What is allowed, what is not allowed, right? So how to understand the basics of operations. String dot parse string. No, we don't have something like that. So you can try it because personally I've never used that. I don't think there is something like that, but there are string builders, string tokenizers, two string methods. So a lot of alternatives are there. So if anyone have explored, please let me know. Parcent is only for integers. Yes, parcent is only for integers. Okay. Now let me understand your basics. Yeah, toString is there. Tostring is there. What is the question? Okay. Ashir Ali, please ask in a way that you are asking to a faculty. I feel like you are ordering me. Okay. So it's not right way of communication. So you have to optimize the way you ask the question to the faculty or the trainer. So it has to be like in a polite way. Can you say why strings are immutable? I don't know the way you're asking, but it feels that you're asking in a way that is not right communication. So after reading the integer value from console, can we take string input from console using? Yeah, you can take, but again, these things you have to be very careful because you will get input mismatch exception. So there is a way to do that. You have to do escape sequence. So that means you have to write one more next line when you are reading integer and first you are reading integer, then you are reading one more string means you will get input mismatch exception. So you have to escape that new line and then read it. So all these things while doing the problem solving, I'll tell you. So don't worry. Please keep these questions in your mind. When you try the problems, come and ask me personally in the TNP cell, or when I do the problem solving, that time you can ask. So you guys don't hurry up and confuse everyone. Okay. So this is a good question actually. Yeah. Asir Ali, can you say why strings are immutable? So there is a concept of string pooling area, right? So basically, this is an optimization technique. Strings in Java are immutable. Can anyone say what is immutable? So once the string is created, you can't change the value of it, right? So when you change the content of a string, right, that becomes a new memory area in Java. Sir, while ending class, can you please tell everything as summary? Yeah, sure. I will do that. Okay. So it is a basically string pool concept. Uh, Whatever Ashir Ali asked, strings are immutable. This is an important question, right? So there is a concept of string pool. Okay. It is a memory optimization technique which Java follows to just optimize your memory. Okay, once it is created, you can't change it. If you change it, it becomes a new string. So that's why we call the Java strings are immutable, right? You can only change the reference to that object basically. You won't change the actual value. So that's why object oriented programming we're talking about. So there are when we start the object oriented programming, you will get in detailed knowledge about this. So right now, if you want to explore what is string pool area, memory area in Java, why they follow this technique for the optimization technique. Okay. So now I'll write some code on the screen. So let me comment line this everything. So what is the shortcut for comment lining all the things that we type on the screen? I told you in the last session. Control plus slash. So if you, yeah, control plus shift plus slash. Yes, very good. So you have to use control plus shift plus slash. So everything has become command line. Now, last session we learned how to use a scanner class. Scanner is equal to new scanner system.in, right? Suppose I want to enter something on screen, enter the value. If okay, so what I want to do is I want to read only integer data. That means I want to restrict the user to be using only integer data. That means if the data is only integer, then it has to be accepted. Otherwise, it has to show there is some error. Okay, so how to do that? There is a way to do that. There is a function called as hasNextInt. How many of you know this function? hasNextInt. When you are using the scanner class, there is a function called as hasNextInt. So what does it do? So I'll just tell you, string tokenizer. Yeah, some people are talking about string tokenizer. I think you are interested more in string tokenizer. So I will also cover that topic. Okay, so let me stick to the question right now. So what I want to do is, I want to just only accept integer value. I don't want to accept any other value apart from integer. So if you use scanner object, you see as soon as I type the dot, you are getting the suggestion. What is that suggestion? Has next int. Okay, has next int. Can come down and check for integer. Yeah, has next int. Okay. Now, what does it do is, right? If the input is integer, only then I want to read it, right? Only then I want to read it. So obviously next int you are using. Okay. Then I want to print enter the value, right? So when you are reading, suppose if input is integer, if there is an integer, right? If it is an integer, then only I want to read it. If scan sc dot has next in, then only I want to do it. Else, what I want to do is I want to print the error message that only integer value should be entered. Something like this. Okay, let me check this. So I'll enter the integer value, for example. So I'm getting the output as integer value. Now, so for example, I'll enter 1, 2, 3, then I'll enter grid. What is the output you're getting? Only integer value should be entered. So these are again certain test cases. They will put the data purposefully like this so that you are made sure that you will only read the integer value. Okay. So these kind of functions are also very important. So before reading the input, are you reading the correct input or not? You yourself as a coder, you have to make sure that you are using these kind of functions, right? Only if the input is an integer. So there is a function called as hasNextInt. So it will just read the input and only if it is integer, it will store. No, it is for everyone. Product batch exam is for everyone in the second year. All 1,000 students can write it, right? So this one I wanted you to understand how to check if the data entered is only integer or not. Suppose if you give space also, 1, 2, 3 space, great. Now what is happening? Is it giving any error at this point? Suppose I'll write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. So is it reading properly? Yes. So when you observe here, I'll give another test case. Just now I told you, Karthik, just to make sure that user enters the valid integer data only. Okay. Suppose grid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what is happening at this point? Which condition? Right, this one, right? So you just highlight that. Returns true if the next token in the scanner input can be interpreted as an int value in the default redux using nextInt method. The scanner does not advance past any input. True if and only if the scanner's next token is valid int value. So immediately, once you type, immediately hasNextInt is checking for only integer value, right? The first value should be integer value. If there is a valid integer value, it immediately, the condition becomes true and it enters the if body. Then inside the if body, you are actually storing that integer value, whatever the value you got it, into X variable, right? So hasNextInt is doing what? Basically, the first token has to be integer. After that, whatever comes, it doesn't care, right? After, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, you type whatever thing you want to type. It doesn't matter for it, right? So it will only fetch integer value and it will store that into another variable, right? So the first token. So when you want to learn what is the meaning of the function, just click on that, highlight on that particular function, read the information in the window box that you are getting. So what is the return value you will get? What is the error message that you get, right? So returns true if the next token in the scanner's input can be interpreted as an integer value. Yes, very good. So it takes only starting int value, right? It doesn't go beyond that. Again, there are alternative for that, which for that I'll add one question in Moodle. Suppose what if the combination of integer value you have and you want to read multiple integer values from the given string, right? So here we are only talking about one integer value, right? So there are alternative for that. So where I want to read, multiple integer from the given string. I want to check whether the given string has an integer or not. Suppose if it is like this. This is Java 1, 2, 3, and code is 4, 5, 6, and value is 100, something like this. Now what I want to do is, yeah, I will wind up. Now what I want to do is I want to extract 1, 2, 3. I want to extract 4, 5, 6, and I want to extract 100 and store them in another variables. So that is going to be your task. So in this particular example, I am only explaining you how to read, how to check whether the first value is integer or not. Now what is your task is, if this is your input like this, you have to fetch only integer values out of it, and you want to do either sum of it or you want to store it in another array. That depends on the question basically, but I am just giving you the one test case here. So I will add this question in Moodle. Try to do this. Okay. What is the task? Your input is combination of string and integers. Only extract integers out of it using your input has to come from the user actually. So you can't do it as a compile time initialization. So this has to come from the user, and in the user input, check whether there is any integer, possible integer input. If there is an integer input, then extract only that and do some operation, right? So that I want you guys to try it in the Moodle. So yeah, Gopi is already giving you the suggestion. You can do it using string tokenizer. Yeah, so you can apply the string tokenizer method. If you don't understand that, please remind me. In the next session, I will try to include that. Okay. So, or else there is one more way for that. While creating the scanner class itself, you can pass the object. For example, something like this. Okay, so you are not reading the input from the user, but you are only mentioning here. Here only you can check whether the next character that you are getting is integer or not. So just use while loop for this. As long as there are integer value, as long as there is a string, inside string you check whether there is an integer. Try to keep on doing that as long as you reach the dead end of the string, right? So until you reach this dead end, that is 456, keep on checking for the integer. So the hint for this is use while loop for this, and check for within the while loop, check for whether there is a has next int. Okay, so while loop, what you will check? While loop has sc dot has next. Again, what is has next? So suppose I will write here only, just highlight your cursor over that. So returns true if this scanner has another token in input. This method may block while waiting for the input scan, right? The scanner does not advance past any input, right? So has next is different, has next int is different. So this you have to put it inside while loop, because I want to go as long as there is a string data, another token. Basically strings are called as token here. So as long as there are token in the string, right? So you have to keep on reading. So within each token, we are checking whether that token is integer or it is a string. If it is integer, then store it. If it is not integer, then ignore it. So that's the way. As long as there is a last value in your string. So I will add this question. Try to do it in model. Okay. So you use the combination of has next and has next end. Both you have to use. Understood? Karthik, you understood? This was your doubt. What is the significance of has next end? Yeah. So in summary, what we did today, what we learned today, data types, right? Operations on data types, right? Importance of conversion. You have to use command line. Operations on data type. Then conversions, wrapper classes, right? Wrapper classes, right? Then input read and write. Input reading basically. A lot of alternatives are there. We'll try to cover them one by one. Then I wanted to cover array also, but because of time constraints, we can't do it. But can anyone tell me how to create array in Java? Just 2 minutes, I'll wind up. Suppose if I mention int array name like this, is it a valid declaration? So what is the problem here? Yes. So this is, many students are still doing this kind of mistake. So if you want to declare array, you can declare without mentioning the size, no problem. It won't give any error. But in the next line, what you have to do is array name equal to new array name kaadu, Satvik, new int, you have to mention the size. Okay. So this is the syntax. Unexpected token. I think it's because of comment lines. But declaration should be allowed actually. So even if you declare like this, yeah. So what is the problem here is 2 times I'm declaring, correct? So identifier expected. Can you int a equal to new int size? I haven't tried it, but you can. I think you have to do some type conversion for that. So here, I'm just identifying the error. So can you separate your declaration and initialization in Java, just like array in C? I think it's not allowed. You can't write like this. navigate to previous declaration. Okay, unused declaration basically. So you can't keep it empty. Yeah. So here you can make it like this. Yeah. This also won't work now. Unknown data type. So you can't keep your array size empty. Okay. So only way is, so this is the correct way of declaring the array in Java. So because Java uses new keyword for declaring the memory in the RAM, new keyword is very important to declare the array. Yes. Dinner time. Yes, Soumya, you can have a dinner. No problem. So in the next session, we will try to solve more problems based on the remaining topics, that is array, and a lot of varieties are there based on string functions. So I'll be covering string functions, right? String functions in the coming class. Then how to do conversion part, that is if you want to do binary to decimal, decimal to binary, right? How to represent the string objects. So we will have this kind of topics coming up in the next week session. Okay, so please practice revise whatever I taught today, and in another 2-3 days I'll be adding few more questions. So today first 5 questions we will close. Everyone should complete them. So based on your performance in those, I will try to keep your accounts active in model. Otherwise, I'll delete all your accounts, those who are not practicing. So this I'm warning very strictly. So I want to give priority to only to those who are working hard and who are putting some kind of effort to learn. Yes, you can see the video in YouTube. Shruti, if you are a lateral entry student, there is no access until you complete C. Karthik, your doubt, I will check it out right now. I've not tried this, but if it works, I'll tell you in the next class. Personally, I've not tried this. So can we give char array equal to new int? I don't think it will work, but there should be a way definitely. Okay. So see you in the next session. People are hungry. Let them have lunch. Sorry, dinner. So we will keep learning in the coming sessions. Fine. So we'll close the session for the day. Happy learning. Enjoy your weekend. It's already there, Harsha. In YouTube, it is there. Thank you.